Have you ever been in a moment where you experienced something so big or so awesome or so true that you ran out of words to say? Hey, my name is Donnie Velasco and you're jumping into another episode of Inward Monologue. And I love the fact that one of the things that we have in common is that we've experienced something that leaves us speechless. Now, I don't know how you like to respond to these big moments, but I know for me, I like to hold them in a container that is broad enough to contain as much of that experience as possible. And that for me is in poetry. Now you might be thinking, Donnie, I don't get it. I don't read poetry. I don't even understand it, and it frustrates me. And if you're that way inclined, I really encourage you to check out one of my previous videos where I shared one of my poems. Another way of thinking about poetry is that it uses language to form a container so that it can hold a broad experience. I remember writing a particular poem after I had just watched someone perform some live music, and I thought there couldn't be anything more than this. This poem is called Days Like These. Pleasant fictions exist a breath at a time. So breathe in well, breathe in deep, and let those moments sink down into your bones, into what counts, into what's real. And let that be your conviction, your courage, your commitment in the face of the insurmountable. When all surety has faded away, the memory of what was true is true, even when the present wind screams contrary. Days like these. Now you might be thinking, what does that have to do with music? What does that have to do with a live music performance? Now I do remember when this person was playing and singing, it somehow transported me into a couple of memories that I held close to my heart. For example, one of the spaces I've had a lifelong commitment to is volunteering in my faith community. Now, I'm sure those who have experienced volunteering can relate, that you often give of your time, energy, and presence with the best of intentions. But every now and then, you stop and you think, what am I giving my energy to? Now, it may have been a difficult experience when you're volunteering, like trying to pull together a project and realizing that the other volunteers aren't with you in supporting you. Or it may be that for the people that you're engaging with, that somehow you feel underappreciated by the time and the energy that you share with them. Or jumping to a different context, I remember I was looking for a job and I decided to apply for one that had absolutely nothing to do with my degree that I studied. And some people were wondering, why are you jumping into that area? Why are you getting into not-for-profits when clearly you've studied something that is more suited for the corporate environment? So whether it's the volunteer example or that searching for a job example, I remember that there were moments where I had to stop and take a step back to take stock of where I was coming from before I made any further decisions or actions. When I'm confronted by such decisions, yes, I do agree there is value in consulting experts or the wider community and even your loved ones before making a decision. But there also is a point in the decision-making process where really the only conviction that you can lean on is yourself. There has to come a point where all the external validation can't hold up the conviction that you're looking for. And really, when it comes to that point, the only validity that can push you through is the conviction that comes from within. It's those big life decision moments where you feel like you're staking a bit of yourself on how the decision comes out. And it may even turn out that there are external forces that are saying, no, that's not the right way to go. That's not the decision that you should be making. It's in those moments where I've come to recognize in myself that whatever it is that I believe, the proof of that is how I breathe life and commit to that belief. Here's to blessing that conviction and that courage that you bring to whatever commitments that you're facing today. Thanks for tuning in to today's episode. Let's go, but let's go.